Hi everyone, it's Mr. Rosen here again. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to use logarithms, so how to use logs to solve exponential equations. Okay, so let me give you a real simple example here. Okay, so say I had 2 to the exponent x, and that's equal to 8. This is actually a pretty easy one to solve. You probably could figure out in your head, and you probably could figure out, okay, well, 2 to the exponent 3, that's equal to 8, so therefore x must be 3. That's the value of x that solves this equation. If I plug a 3 in there, we get 2 to the 3, and that gives me 8. Okay? Now, how do you use this, or how do you solve this equation using logarithms? Okay? Logarithms, basically what happens is, if you end up with a scenario like this, and you can't go any further, and imagine you don't see the answer, obviously, right? What you could do is you can take the log on both sides. So you could write this. You could write log of 2x equals log 8. Now, I'm not really going to explain what exactly logarithms is. That's not the point of this video. I just want to show you how this works, though. Okay, now, the trick with logs is there's a cool little feature about them, and that's if you have exponents with logs. And if you have an exponent, what you can do is you can take the exponent and bring it down. So my next line would be x log 2 equals log 8. So that's a perfectly valid operation right there. And log 2 and log 8, those are just numbers. You can actually get those in your calculator. You just type in log 2 and log 8 and you'll get those. So what I can do next is I can just divide both sides by log 2. And the ones on the left cancel out, and I'm left with x equals log 8 divided by log 2. And if you punch that in your calculator, so you use log 8 divided by log 2, you should get 3. And that is the correct answer. So x is equal to 3. Now that's a really simple one. Let's try something a little bit harder here. Okay. So let's say I had the same one, but I've got 2 to the x equals 500. Okay, so that one, I don't know. It's not very obvious. I got to figure out what exponent I put on the 2. So what's the x value that will turn that thing into 500? I could do a guess and check. I could keep guessing and try and get the number, but that's not going to give me an exact calculation. The way I would solve this is I would take the log of both sides. So I go log 2 to the x equals, log 500. And the next line, I would bring that exponent x down, and it becomes x log 2 equals log 500. And the next thing I can do is divide both sides by the log 2. So we get x equals log 500 divided by log 2. And when you work that out, let's see, we get log 500 divided by log 2. You would get x equals 8.97. Okay, that's the answer to that equation. And I can check it. So 2 to the exponent 8.97. I did a little bit of rounding, but what do we get when we do that? 2 to the exponent 8.97 is equal to 501.46. So that's really close. So obviously I rounded my number a little bit. There was a lot of decimals at the end, but that is pretty accurate. And that's how you solve an equation like that. Let me do one more, little bit more complicated example here. Let's say I had something like this. 7 to the exponent 4x equals 600. Let's try that. Okay. Again, there's no way I'm going to be able to figure out what x value I plug in as the exponent there. There's no way of getting the same base. Like sometimes what you can do is if you can get them both to the same base, like say you had an example like this, then what you could do if they both have the same base, like these both have a 7, then what you could do is you could just say that it's 4x has to equal to 3, and then you could solve it, right? But there's no way that I can turn that 600 into base 7 easily, not easily. So I have to use logs to solve this equation. So again, I'm going to take the log on both sides. So log of 7, 4 to the x, or 7 to the exponent 4x, equals log 600. And the next thing I would do is the 4x comes down, and we end up with 4x log 7 equals log 600. And then I would divide both sides by the log 7. And I'm left with 4x equals log 600 over log 7. And now I've got that 4 in front to deal with. So I actually am going to divide both sides by the 4 as well. So if I divide that by 4, I'm also going to divide this by 4. So the answer is going to be x equals log 600 divided by 4 times log 7. And if we work that out, you'll get, let's see here, log 600 divided by 4 times, we might have to use brackets at the bottom here. So bracket 4 times the log of 7, close the brackets. I got 0.822. Okay, and that's my answer. So let's double check it here. Let's find out if this is actually the right one. So as a check, let's do 7 to the exponent 4 times 0.822. Let's see what we get there. So 4 times 0.822, that's 3.288. 7 to the exponent 3.288 is equal to 600.73. So it's very close. Obviously, we got a little bit of rounding error, so this is the correct answer. We did get the right value for x. Okay, so that's how you can use logarithms to solve exponential equations. If you take the log of both sides, then you can bring your exponents down, and it makes these questions a lot easier. And the logs, you just punch those in your calculator, and they should help you to find the answers to your equation.